Hey, welcome to Planet Hex. I'm Andrew Horn. This is a show where I talk about a lot of VHS tapes, a lot of VHS culture, old movies, old games, old cartoons, music, writing life, and a bunch of other stuff besides. On this episode, I'm going to go through a really cool file that I found. This is collecting a lot of magazine ads for retro movies. So there's horror, there's sci-fi, there's fantasy. I did not create this. I did find this on the Internet Archive, but I wanted to go through this with you and see what's in there. I've only had a scan through like the first few pages. I know there's some cool stuff in here, so I'm going to share that with you because I do think that magazines are a lost art form. I love magazines. I used to get magazines religiously, all kinds of stuff, music and movies and game stuff and anime and comics magazines. I was thinking earlier, I was listening to Comic Geek Speak, one of the podcasts I listened to, and they were talking about the end of the print version of previews, and that kind of broke my heart a bit. I loved previews when I was a teenager and when I was working in comic stores. Yeah, you can still get it online as a digital version, but I used to love getting the big thick catalogues, especially when they had like hidden trading cards and posters and stuff inside, because it was just so cool to see all this stuff that was coming out and all these ideas that people were sharing. And it was exciting. I really, really miss that. And magazines in general are, yeah, they're dying out, but they are still read here and there. I do get a couple of magazines each month myself, and I love print media. I always love print media because once you get it, you own it, and the battery's not going to run out on it. That sort of thing. I know that makes me sound very old, but anyway, we're going to get on with looking through this awesome collection of retro movie stuff. And this first one here is Vamp. I love Vamp. Vamp is just the best, and it just makes me happy seeing stuff from this movie. It was a really good film, elements of comedy, horror. It was so cool, and it lives up to that hype even now. Yeah, a lot of it is set in strip club, but that's not the point of it. Check out this film if you've never seen this. It's the green and pink lighting gives it this sort of otherworldly cartoon feel, and it's just the coolest thing. It's got Grace Jones in it, and she's terrifying. Do check that out if you have not seen that. What else have we got here? We've got Witchboard. Okay, that's I'm thinking of 1976 Evil. This isn't the one that done by Robert Englund, but Witchboard is fine. That's an interesting ad for it. I love the painted artwork. Painted artwork is something else I miss on movie posters. I really, really do. There's another great example, Graveyard Shift. A lot of these were better than the movies in some cases. But look at that. That is such a really cool poster. Really well thought out image. 1987 theatrical release, and you see that on the bottom there. Available on video cassette and Laserdisc. January 27th, 1988. That is so cool. I love it. Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. This is my favourite Friday the 13th movie, personally, because it's the one that feels most like a Jason movie. I know it's cooler to say the original or the first couple or whatever like that, but I really like Part 6. I also really like Part 7, and that gets me more mockery. But Part 6 is the quintessential Jason movie for me, and it's got the Alice Cooper songs on the soundtrack, Kane Roberts on guitar, that sort of thing. It's very much of its era, but it ticks all those boxes for me. It's got Tommy Jarvis in it, it's got the cool mask, lots of gore, and I enjoy it greatly. I still enjoy that movie. But that's like the VHS cover. Digging in the cemetery can have grave consequences. Nice. See, Paramount. So I always associate Paramount more with Star Trek personally, because I was a huge Trek fan. But that's very cool. Very cool to see. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Oh yes, here we are. We've got some of the adverts at the bottom. Yes. The 6-foot Leatherface standee, 3D Leatherface poster. That's by 3D. They mean it was embossed. It wasn't like 3D effect. And the T-shirt. I've seen that T-shirt advertised in things like Gorezone and Fangoria. Old copies of those. There's a media release. Slipcase tapes. These are all American releases, but it's so cool to see these. I really, really love these. Let's have a look here. Elm Street 1. Okay. Wake up. The year's biggest nightmare is here. Gorgeous artwork. Another media release. Realised they did so many of them. Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. He's looking a bit more swipe right on Freddy. Left, right. I don't know. I don't know how those things work. So it's interesting here that on these adverts you get a little bit of like a rundown of what happens in the movie at the bottom, and that's interesting. So you wouldn't see that now, or you wouldn't see many adverts for movies anyway in magazines now, apart from like the odd film magazine. But then that's a lot of that is Blu-rays and stuff. But they don't have these descriptions on, which is interesting. I wonder if that was more like an American thing. So I don't remember that being a thing over here. An old friend is coming to town. That's cool. See here, that's perfect. Freddy's back and he's looking for a fresh face. It could be yours. There's another blurb at the bottom there. That's... Oh, and there's sweepstakes as well. There was a competition. Wow, be in my nightmare. That's crazy. So on the end of this tape, there's a docu music video for Dream Warriors, and there's also a prize. There's a sweepstakes here. Fly to Hollywood and be in Elm Street 4, or receive $5,000 in cash. I would have gone and been in Elm Street 4. Dream Master's not my favourite, but wow, being part of that franchise would be so cool. What else have we got here? Another miscellaneous horror one there. So we've got Elm Street 1, Elm Street 2, Day of the Dead. Some of the titles there look like Chuck Norris movies. Zombie High. See, there's not really any zombies there, but still, appreciate it. Moon in Scorpio. Not seen that one. If you have, let me know down below. Jesus. Cats have 9 lives. You have only 1. Graydon Clark's Uninvited. Yeah, I'd freak out if that popped through the door. Alien Predators. Here's a great opportunity to rent the exciting action-packed thriller Alien Predators and win 10 grand. See, that's what they had to do to advertise some movies. Like, please, rent this and we'll pay you thousands, please. And the cut-off coupons at the end of the page, very evocative. Creature. You bet as well that film was not as good as that poster makes it look. Featuring Klaus Kinski. Okay. Oh, and they're also advertising Android, as well as also available Day of the Triffids, Virus, Slithis, A Boy and His Dog, The Dark, and A Force Beyond. In the middle of all that, you've got A Boy and His Dog. It doesn't sound particularly scary. Nice, The Curse. That's cool. It was always exciting to see a little shot of the gore and the effects in it. I'm a huge fan of practical effects, but the Curse had always had a really cool cover. Each edition I've seen, not just the media one, but like the UK covers, it had the hand on it, and very cool. And it had Will Wheaton in it. I have to revisit that. There's Elvira. And the Thriller video ad. We didn't get Thriller video over here, so I only know of it from the legends spoken of from overseas VHS fans. But Thriller video sounded exciting. And anything with Elvira in it, I love Elvira dearly. I have an Elvira figure on my windowsill in my living room. I've got the book, I've got the movies. I need some prints. I need some Elvira prints. I just love the kitsch aspect of it, and that the character of Elvira is always in control, and wisecracking. Now I know what this next one is. That is The Fly. That poster image for The Fly is iconic. Just with the hand and like the insect leg coming out, so cool. Doesn't really need the shot of Jeff Goldblum transforming in the corner there, because that poster image does all of it. Again, there's a little blurb on it there. Same here with Aliens. Get ready to experience all the terror, suspense, and shocks you can handle. Watch Alien Earth when that comes out. That looks amazing. Nice warning, excessive levels of terror, special effects, and weird comedy. It's Class of Newcomb High. I like that. Used to like these where you would. I'd see a lot of these on the back of comic books. I used to get a lot of comics. I've still got a bunch of the hundreds of my '90s comics in the case in the corner over there, and you would see these things where they were holding a product or something to do with the movie or a game or something like that, and there would be someone in costume, be it a monster, even just like a monster hand, holding something, but it gave you that little connection to the thing they were putting across. And I love Class of Newcomb High. Cassandra can see the future. You may not want to. I don't remember that one. This is nice because I'm finding a bunch of stuff to seek out because I've not seen that. And I really should. But there we go. We got Fright Night. One of the greatest covers ever. Of any VHS covers ever. So look at the clouds, look at the monsters and the demons in the clouds with the vampire face, the iconic vampire face, and the lit up window. Now, personally, this is only overshadowed by Fright Night Part 2, which had an even cooler variation on this painting. But that is perfect. If you love to be scared, it'll be the night of your life. Yeah, I love the Fright Night movies, not the remakes. I love the original two from the 80s. There we go, Fright Night Part 2. That's not the one I meant. That is the alternate version of Fright Night Part 2. Apparently, the suckers are back. That's a great tagline. Classic one, The Howling. We've all seen that poster many times, but it's nice, simple, gorgeous painted artwork. Is that airbrushed? I can't tell. I don't know that much about painted artwork. Then you got nonsense like Howling 4, which was not great. Stephen King's Silver Bullet, bloody hell, I forgot about that. If Tarker's Mills is such a nice town, how come people are dying to get out? You see what they did there? That was Stephen King's werewolf story. Why not? They spelled scary wrong there. No, he ain't scary. Company of Wolves. Nice simple one for Company of Wolves. Strange Baroque horror fantasy that it was. Very cool though. Time of the Wolf. That's Richard O'Brien. The Legend of Sherwood battles the servant of evil. Hang on a sec. Is that episodes of Robin of Sherwood cut together into movies? Maybe wrong. Pick up a hot one. What else? Yeah, it's tacky. But, it was the 80s. What's going on? Oh, it's Transylvania 65000, which is terrible. Not a great movie. So if you do watch that, it's at your own risk. It's not really worth your time personally. Monkey Shines, that monkey scared the shit out of me. Demons. That's an odd one for Demons. It's a cool image, a movie about audience participation. If you don't know the story of Demons, a bunch of people go to see a horror movie. The horror movie comes to life out of the screen and fills the place with demons. Everyone goes, ah! A bunch of people turn into horrible gelatinous monsters. So it's Nottingham on a Saturday. That's be me in town tomorrow night. That's not what my Market Square's like. But that is an odd image because that wouldn't appear in the movie. You need the demons on there with the glowing eyes, or at least the slime. You can see one on the cover, but you're missing out on the visual power of Demons. That is a great movie. Hello, Mary Lou, Prom Night 2. Slumber Party Massacre Part 2. That seems a bit stylized. Got a filter over it or something. The weird rock and roll mess that film was. Here's The Class of 82. May they rest in peace. It's Return to Horror High, one of those that shows up on budget DVDs. Yes! There you go. If you ever wanted to know how tacky the era could get, here's Linnea Quigley's Horror Workout, which I have seen. I found it on the Internet Archive just because you hear legends of it, and it's funny. It's got the sexy dance and the workout stuff in it, but it's really funny because Linnea is getting zombies to do a workout, and they've got bits falling off them, and it's entertaining. And I like the fact this is black and white adverts, just kind of tacky. Creepers, otherwise known as Phenomena. by Dario Argento. It was recut as Creepers from the original, which was phenomenal. I think it was that way around. With Jennifer Connelly in it, which was awesome. Creepshow 2, which was not Creepshow 1, so we don't care. Zombie Nightmare. Nice artwork for a nice low-budget movie. Night of the Living Dead. They scream louder in colour. No, colorising Night of the Living Dead was a remarkably bad idea. Terrible idea. Return of the Living Dead 2, nowhere near as fun as the first, but still cool poster art. We got Hellraiser. For months, he's been terrorising moviegoers. Now he's ready for your home. You opened the box. We came. So I should take that off, be like Pinhead. If you want to shop some pins on me, we'll tear your soul apart. I love Doug Bradley. As Pinhead. Love the Hellraiser movies. Even the bad ones. Tales from the Dark Side, that was on the back of one of the magazines I've got in the stash. Not a film I particularly like, but I love the poster art. Alien Beasts, nice. 31.55 for a 72-minute VHS. I like that you're getting that directly from the makers, though. That's cool. SFE horror. Deep Space. Don't know that one. Oh, written by Fred Olen Ray. Directed by Fred Olen Ray. Say no more. The movie that will blow your mind. Brain Damage. See, there's not even an image from the movie there. Brain Damage is a great film. Great fun. With the little... the parasite that attaches itself to the dude's brain. But yeah, check that out. On the side then, if you can see that, it says, for additional information, circle number 14 on reader service card. The lengths that people would go to for interaction in magazines was amazing. So much work went into these things, and I do think it's kind of forgotten, and that's a shame. Bad Dreams. Failed attempt at starting a new Freddy-style franchise, but it has Jennifer Rubin in it out of Elm Street 3 as a lady that wakes up from a coma after 13 years after an explosion in a cult home she was living in with this weird cult, and the guy keeps coming back. Is it a vision? Is it real or not? It's a good watch, not a brilliant watch, but it's a good watch. What that did have was the UK VHS of Bad Dreams had a really bad cover, but that one's better. Rachel Ward, Daryl Hannah. The Final Terror. I don't know that one. Now available on video cassette and video disc. Interesting. Arachnophobia. Yeah. Not technically a horror movie, but it is to some people. I get that. Totally understand that. What else have we got here? Phantom of the Mall. Watchable. If you like your 80s horror. House. Ding dong, you're dead. Everybody's dying to rent this house. Look at the amount of text on that. They really had to sell these things, putting across the cast and what else they'd been in. Like they're mentioning, like William Catt was in Carrie, George Wendt was in Cheers, and so on. But it just seems very strange now that these things were pushed forward as a selling point back then, and it's familiar to me. But thinking of a modern audience looking at these things, it seemed kind of archaic. House 2, Doom with a View. Love those taglines. School Spirit, another media tape. Billy is an angel, but what he has in mind is positively devilish. I know a Billy, that sounds about right. 4 of Japan's most outrageous creature features are on a rampage. Do you have a yen for monsters? I see what they did there. Gotta love a kaiju movie. I watched the Gamera movie yesterday. It was good fun. Redneck Zombies, I've watched this recently. It's completely insane. And yeah, it's a trauma release, and it's everything you would think of just from that title. It's low budget idiocy. It's great. Love it. You can get Redneck Zombies and a movie called War Cat, which I've not seen, both for only $139. What's next? Dead End Drive-In, the Australian movie, again, found that on one of the streaming services. Like, Filmsy or Filmrise or Foursome or something like that, or some of the weird free ones I've been looking stuff up on. Reform School Girls, indeed. Mary, Mary, Bloody Mary. I don't know that one. Christina Ferrari. It looks a bit like Catherine Zeta-Jones to me. That. The Grisly, the Ghastly, the Gruesome, the Great. There's a bunch of different ones there. I like that's fun. CBS Fox advert. What we got? We got Damien 2, Omen 2, Damien. We got Omen 3, Final Conflict. See The Fly. Both versions of The Fly. Aliens, Alien, The Entity. And the original Fly there. House on Haunted Hill, Legend of Hell House, Night School. Cool. Scream Greats, Starlog Video Scream Greats, the Fangoria Video Magazine Series Volume 1. I must find episodes of that. That sounds so cool. I know Marvel did it, and I think a bunch of other people did these like mail order video magazines as well. I had a lot of the rock and metal ones like Hard and Heavy and Metal Excess and things like that. But never had any of the movie ones. That's an interesting one. So that's going to be something I'll look up. Scream Greats, Volume 2, Satanism and Witchcraft. Cool. This program will scare the devil out of you. If you're startling look at real-life devil worshippers, witches and other cultists who dabble in the black arts. Awesome. Wholesome. RoboCop. First RoboCop, unmatched to this day. The remake didn't happen. Anyone that tries to tell me that it did happen is lying. But that was great. That was superb. RoboCop 2, still alright. Predator, classic image of Predator. Runaway, the Tom Selleck sci-fi movie. Killer robots are on the loose. Selleck's the cop on the chase with his massive mustache as a weapon. T1 and 2. The Vindicator. See, I'm like these cheaper, more not exploitative, but these cheaper, lower budget ones with the more sensationalist images. Vindicator was fun. Starship. Don't remember that. Who was in that one? No one I recognise. Short Circuit, Johnny Five. Ali Sheedy and Steve Gutenberg. Cocoon. A number of times I saw Cocoon on TV. And Cocoon The Return seemed to get an even longer spell on British TV. But that was an interesting one. I liked it at the time. I know it's not to everyone's taste, but I like it. And ladies and gents, perfection. The first Ghostbusters. But I maintain they should have had Winston on there. Yeah, they put Slimer on there, they put the cover on there, but you're missing a Ghostbuster. Holy Ectoplasm. Ghostbusters materialised exclusively on TDK HS video cassettes. So they were on TDK tapes. I love that that's one of the selling points for the TDK VHS tapes. That's so good. What else have we got here? Star Wars, massive Star Wars. Crossover into the Twilight Zone, the CBS Video Library. It's a mail away one where you get like one a month. Cool. Driving Cinema. We get past those because I had a rude thing on it. Collector's editions are dead on. Don't know that one. Pit and the Pendulum, the Full Moon release. That was a surprisingly decent version of it, including Oliver Reed. So it was not a bad version. Subspecies, a lot of love for Subspecies. Bloodstone 2, Subspecies 2. Dr. Mordred, this is a surprisingly good movie. Honestly, this was Jeffrey Combs as Dr. Mordred, and it was essentially Full Moon had I think we're trying to get a Doctor Strange movie off the ground back in the early 90s. Couldn't do it, so they just changed the name and like the designs in it, and it was really fun. Great fun. And Brian Thompson in it as the bad guy, and it was just so cool. Mandroid, I went to the Full Moon section. I'm happy now. Yes. I love Full Moon movies. One I love the most, though, as several people that will, maybe just me, in fact, if anyone pays attention, I love Arcade. and I'm fascinated by the story around Arcade, with it having to be largely remade. All the effects needed to be redone. Contrasting stories. One was that Disney said it was too much like Tron, so they had them redo the effects, and the other, more plausible one personally, was that it looked crap. So the redone ones are not perfect, but it was improved. But this has got a really good cast in it. So it's directed by Albert Pune, who did like Cyborg and Nemesis and things like that. And it had Megan Ward in it, John Delancey, Seth Green. It's a really good cast. There is a solid cast in this, and it was written by David Goyer. There's a lot about Arcade to love, but yet it was made cheaply, and it's very rough around the edges, and there's some plot holes in it, and the effects are very hokey, kind of kids' TV effects. But I'm always going to love that movie. Netherworld, great cover, really boring film. I'm loving all the full moon movies here. This is great. Seed People, yes. Roger Daltrey in Murder, Ultimate Grounds for Divorce. I would say that would inspire divorce, to be honest. Commando Squad. Transworld movie, yep. Another Fred Olen Ray masterpiece. Lots of big hair, big guns, and big explosions. Bullies, fair enough. His giant head is on fire. The Delos Adventure. Looks like an Andy Sidaris movie. Who's in this one? No one I recognise. Not an Andy Sidaris movie, but you've got to admit it looks like one. Fair Game. Terror on Alcatraz. It's a really weird angle for his arm with the cleaver. Again, one with the game you can play there. Sheena, that was alright. That was alright as an entertaining adventure movie. Very much of its time, but it was fine. But best Sheena. Look up the Sheena of the... no, I'm thinking of Shana. I don't know. Find some stuff drawn by Frank Cho. That was cool. Florida Straits, not my thing. Oh, that was that one again. Thunder Warrior. They gave him hate. He gave them hell. I'm really enjoying saying these like that. I hope that's obvious. In the day job, I do some voiceovers during the day job, and I'm always putting on the radio voice. Codename Wild Geese. Pleased to meet you. Town Alcatraz again. Memorial Valley Massacre. I'm not familiar with that one, and that's an Orion home video release. This is good. I found some stuff. However much you may know about an era or a type of film or anything like that, there's always more you can find out. Ashanti Land of No Mercy. Is that Michael Caine and Omar Sharif? It is, and Peter Ustinov and Rex Harrison. Crikey, that sounds a bit too serious for me. Out there, no one hears you scream. Hunter's Blood. Certain Fury. Rutger Hauer in Wanted Dead or Alive. That's all you need to do with it. When you've got Rutger Hauer in a movie, you just put that on the poster. That's fine. Cherry 2000 with Melanie Griffith. I like this movie. This is an interesting, weird post-apocalyptic film. If you've not seen that, I do recommend that. It's one of those little gems that often gets forgotten. And Tough Turf with go on, James Spader, yes, Pretty in Pink, and so on. And those shades and the studs and the bit of lace sticking out. It's very 80s, glorious. And The Deep, it's cold down there. Anyway, that was a lot of fun to look through. I love these things. If you guys know of anywhere else I can find some stuff that is classic like this, please do let me know. It's so fun to look through these things with you guys and just nerd out a bit. It's been a bit of a weird week, hasn't it? I was going to do an Ozzy Osbourne tribute, but I just couldn't really find the words because he meant a lot to me, that guy, as a fan. And yeah, lots of weird things happening just in terms of life and so on at the moment. But that's why we come online. We watch YouTube. We go and find weirdos looking up old 80s movie adverts Why not? I really enjoyed that. Thank you very much for joining me while I look through it, and please stay tuned for the next episode of Planet Hex.